mean, I think these are probably the 5 most effective exercises I could think of if you had to pick only 5. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I put together a really great minimalist workout program for building muscle, and it's really designed for guys that are kind of strapped for time. So most workout programs that are well-designed professional programs have got tons of different exercises, right? And that's actually preferred. My Fit After 50 program has got, I don't know, I think close to 100 exercises in there. And I changed it up radically from month to month and phase to phase, and it's really the way to go. But if you're in a pinch and you just need like 5 exercises that will basically hit every muscle in your body, today's workout is for you. So you're gonna love today's workout. But before I get to it real quick, guys, we got a wonderful Facebook group, all right? Over 22,000 members. I'm the admin, so I'm the guy literally in there, you know, typing away, answering questions. Great guys. Even if you don't like Facebook, screw it. I want you to join. Click the link below this video. You will not regret it. And then also, this YouTube channel is fantastic, guys. So please help us out. Hit that little like button below, all right, today's video, and hit the share button with some of your buddies, and then subscribe to the channel, because all that helps us spread the good word about Live Anabolic, and it will really help us out. All right, so 5 exercises today, and those 5 exercises are selected because they hit all 5 of the major muscle groups. Simple as that. Now, 2 ways to do the workout program. If you're really strapped for time, you need to get it done fast, get the hell out of Dodge, do it in a circuit style. And that means you do exercise 1, and then with very little rest, go to exercise 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll be tired, you'll be gasping for breath. That's 1 circuit. Rest for a minute or 2, then repeat. So you do 3 of those circuits, but that's really fast, okay? It'll get your heart rate up. It creates kind of it turns it into like a HIIT style workout, high intensity interval training, which is great for the EPOC effect, which is great for burning a lot of extra fat and calories, all right? But it's not the most effective for building muscle. If you're more concerned about building muscle and you got a little more time, I want you to do it kind of the more traditional way, where you do 1 exercise, rest. Do it again, rest. So you do 3 sets of exercise number 1, then you go to exercise number 2. Do 3 sets of that with a little rest in between each set, then go to exercise number 3. So that technique, or that style, is kind of a more traditional, and I put air quotes around that, a more traditional way to do the exercises, but it also is better for building muscle. Now, it's not as good for burning calories and burning fat, and it's going to take a little longer. So I'm just going to step you through all 5 exercises, explain what they are, give you a few pointers, all right, and then you can decide what style you want to do the workout depending on your time constraints and your focus on fat burning or muscle growth. All right, so the first exercise is an incline bench press. And if you guys don't have a bench, I really recommend you invest in one. These things are not very expensive. They last forever, okay? So it's basically a one-time expenditure, and they really do make a lot of exercises more effective. And when I'm hitting my chest, I prefer, especially if I'm only gonna do 1 exercise for chest, I prefer incline as opposed to flat bench. All right, guys, boom. Be sure and pick a weight that's difficult to do, but with good form, for 8 to 12 reps, all right? Now, some of you guys are not gonna have very heavy dumbbells. Now, I'm using super lightweight here. This is not nearly heavy enough for me, but if you don't have heavy enough dumbbells that will get you to near failure by the 12th rep, all right, then you either need to buy heavier dumbbells, or you need to modify your technique and go really, really slow. Slow your tempo down. Make those dumbbells feel artificially heavier than they really are. All right. I want you, especially as long as your shoulders will handle it, I want you to go as deep as you can here, all right? Because at the bottom, This is where you're getting so much of the muscle stretch, and that's where you're getting a lot of tension also, guys. You get a ton of muscle growth by doing full range of motion. One of the things I want you to pay attention to, guys, is just the tempo. How deep I'm going and the speed that I'm pushing here, guys. Don't explode up and then let the weights drop down. I want you to get that mind-muscle connection going by really feeling the weight against your chest, against your pecs. And the only way to do that is to do a kind of a nice, slow, controlled pressing movement on the way up and slow and controlled on the descent. Because the descent, if you didn't know it, is just as important as the contraction part of the exercise. All right, so exercise number 2 is something called a goblet squat. So remember, I've got 5 exercises and we're gonna hit 5 major muscle groups, all right? So we just did our chest. Now it's time for our lower body. So they're called goblet squats because when you turn the dumbbell like this, it kind of looks like a goblet, right? So you're just gonna keep it here, and I like to tuck my elbows in close to my stomach. If you're holding it out here just a little bit, it really puts a lot of extra unnecessary stress on your shoulders. Now, once again, you're gonna wanna use as heavy a dumbbell as you can and still use good form. So form being legs a little wider than shoulders, feet or your toes should be pointed out slightly. And then I'm just gonna squat straight down and then come up. Now I like to pick a spot on the wall right in front of me and I just stare at that spot. And I know I'm doing a full range of motion if I get to the bottom and my elbows hit my thighs, all right? So I know I'm pretty good and deep here. Another thing you guys might want to try is to keep your back straight and not bending over. The first part of the movement, when you start to go down, just stick your ass out, okay? So stick your ass out and then it'll just naturally lead you into good form. So ass goes out and then your knees just kind of keep bending. So it's going to be really hard to do if you try to talk to the camera while you're doing this exercise, but pick a weight. A lot of you guys are going to be pretty strong. Pick a heavy enough weight that by the time you get to that 10th or 12th rep, it's starting to get difficult. Now, some of you guys, once again, won't have enough weight, okay? So you're going to need to do more reps, maybe 15 or 20, or you're going to need to really slow it down. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, some of you guys are going to be way overweight, right? So if you're carrying an extra 50, 60, 70 pounds of fat that you shouldn't have, you may not need to even use a dumbbell because you're actually having to lift a lot more weight than I am, right? So that's fine. You don't have to use the old dumbbell goblet style. You can just use your own body weight. And I like to use my hands as a counterbalance, all right, when you're going up and down. Just like holding a goblet, my hands are right here in front of me. And when I go down, my elbows hit my thighs, and I know, wow, that's a pretty good range of motion. I'm pretty deep here, all right? So 2 different ways to do it depending on how much excess body fat you're carrying. All right, exercise number 3, we're gonna be targeting our shoulders. Now, a lot of guys will think seated shoulder presses or standing shoulder press would be the way to go. And yes, if we hadn't already done chest, I would agree. But when you're doing chest, especially incline dumbbells, you're getting a lot of your front delts involved along with your pecs. All right, and when you're doing an overhead press, you're getting a lot of your front delts. All right, and not as much of your laterals and rear delts. So I've picked my favorite shoulder exercise, and that is lateral raises. Now, unlike the other two, you can't use much weight here, guys. All right, so it doesn't take a very heavy weight, but I love this exercise. It doesn't really hit the front shoulders. We've already done that, remember, with our incline bench press. These are just going straight out to the side here. And yes, my elbows are bent, and I'm keeping my elbows bent at roughly the same angle throughout the full range of motion. And you only have to bring the dumbbells up to about shoulder height here, all right? So don't bring the dumbbells up like this, all right? So I want you to focus on raising your elbows. If that mind-muscle connection just raises your elbows, those dumbbells will just come along for the ride. And when you do this, you're gonna put a lot of stress and tension on your lateral part of your shoulder. So remember your delts, your shoulders, have got three muscle groups. You got this muscle in the front, one on the side, and then a much smaller one in the back. And we'll end up getting that back part of your shoulder on our next exercise. All right, so the fourth exercise is gonna hit our back. All right, so we've done chest, legs, shoulders. We're gonna do back for our fourth, and then our fifth is gonna be a superset. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now, this back exercise is gonna be a one-arm dumbbell row. Now, just because of the nature of the exercise, it means you're gonna need a lot of weight, okay? So this exercise, you just really have a lot of leverage over the weight, and you're using some really big muscles. Your back has got 17 different muscle groups, all right? So you can actually do a lot of weight, especially because we're gonna do them one-armed, which means I'm gonna support my lower back by doing them this way. So if I was doing a two-arm row, I'd have to bend over and row with two dumbbells like this. And that means my lower back is having to lift or maintain all the weight, my upper body weight and the dumbbell weight. Not this way. When you're doing it one hand, our offside is going to support our entire upper body. So basically, you're going to have no stress on your lower back. Can't hurt your lower back this way. But it also means it's going to make you really, really strong. So you can use a really heavy dumbbell, guys. So here we go. Real simple. I'm just gonna row straight up and down, and I want to think about bringing my elbow back towards my hip. All right, so when I come up, my elbow naturally wants to come back like this. And feel that squeeze. I want you to feel the squeeze in your lower lats right here. So if you just come straight up like this, you're not gonna feel it. When you bring it backwards, and do it slowly and controlled, you're gonna really feel all this muscle contract. Those are your lower lats, and that's what's gonna make your back look really wide. Let me do it the other side. So you're gonna do one side, just turn it around. Here we go. Now, guys, I think a lot of y'all are going to be stronger than the amount of weight you have. You probably won't have a heavy enough dumbbell. And just like the other exercises, you're going to have to fool your body, so to speak, by doing it really nice and slow, and then maybe holding the movement at the top of the contraction and really squeezing the muscle, and slowly letting the dumbbell back down. Because when you do the reps much slower like that, basically it just increases the time under tension for each muscle, and that just makes it feel way heavier. And then the other thing you can do is you're gonna have to do more reps. But finally, guys, if you're working out from home on a regular basis, you're just gonna have to invest in more dumbbells. And that's a good problem, right? You know, when you just first started out, you know, you had plenty of weight probably, you know, but as you get stronger and get more into this, you're just going to need more and more weights. And so that's the progressive overload which is really important for building muscle. And when I say progressive overload, it means we got to throw more at the muscle. You know, month after month, it's got to get tougher. Otherwise, you won't progress. You'll just plateau after a few months, and then that's it. You won't get any stronger. You won't build any more muscle. So the only way to do that is to push yourself. Several ways to do that. One of those ways is to use heavier weights. All right, so the fifth final exercise today, we're going to hit our arms. But our arms are really two different opposing muscle groups. We got our biceps and our triceps. All right, so instead of creating 6 different exercises, I'm combining these two muscle groups into one exercise by supersetting them. And by supersetting, really what we're going to do is we're going to do one exercise and immediately go to the other one with no rest in between. Now, if you guys have got plenty of time, you can split them up. You don't have to superset. But remember, today's workout was really for people that are kind of on the go and you're trying to get things done really fast, all right? And supersets really speed things up, all right? So here we go. We're going to do curls first, and I'm going to superset them directly into skull crushers. Now, instead of doing alternating curls and alternating skull crushers, that takes a lot longer, all right? Roughly twice as long. I'm going to do 2-arm curls and 2-arm skull crushers. All right, here we go. We're just going to knock out about 10 curls. Now I'm feeling the weight all the way up and all the way down. Guys, I'm not jerking it up, and I'm not letting those dumbbells just fall back down either. I mean, I'm actually really just squeezing my biceps to get that weight up, and then just controlling it down makes a big difference, all right? And then after about 10 reps, you're just gonna lay down, all right? And then simultaneous 2-arm skull crushers. Now I'm trying my best to keep my elbows still and in one location, all right? They're gonna move around a little bit, but still, I go from a lockout position at the top to at the bottom. The flanges of these dumbbells are just kind of touching my shoulders. And that makes me feel I'm getting a really good range of motion, a good stretch at the bottom of the movement. My triceps are really stretched. And at the top, when I lock my elbows out, that is fully contracted. So, shoot for about 10 reps on each. Boom. That's only one set, right? So, if you're doing it the more conventional way, you would rest for about a minute, and then I would do 2 more sets of that. If you're doing it in the circuit fashion, because you guys might be more interested in losing fat, burning calories, and you might be really constrained by time, all right? You would have done that real quick, but you would have done all 5 exercises with almost no rest in between them. Then, at the end of this superset, you're gonna be gassed, out of breath. Catch your breath for a minute or 2 max, and then do the circuit again. Remember, you're gonna do 3 circuits if you do it that way, or if you're doing more of the kind of the muscle building technique, you're gonna do 3 sets with a little rest in between each set. Fun little workout today. I love these things. Real straightforward. It's basically a full body workout, all right? And I picked what I think are 5 of the best all-around exercises, you know, for just basically keeping it to a minimum, all right? And they're still super effective. I mean, I think these are probably the 5 most effective exercises I could think of if you had to pick only 5 and you wanted to hit your entire body. And that's what we did today. But finally, don't forget, guys, it don't work unless you stick with it and never give up on yourself.